Excellencies, distinguished delegates, this meeting is now called to order. I hope that you had a restful evening last evening, and for those of you who just arrived this morning, it's good to see you. We will now continue with the deliberations under Agenda Item 2B, Sub-Regional Perspectives. The document pertaining to this agenda item is ESCAP/80/3 on sub-regional perspectives on leveraging digital innovation for sustainable development. The consideration of this agenda item will start with opening remarks by the Executive Secretary, Ms. Armida Salcia Alice Jabana, followed by a dialogue with sub-regional organizations to take stock of their collaboration with ESCAP and subsequent achievements in recent years. After this, we will have two panel discussions on, first, sub-regional priorities for digital innovation, and two, digital innovation for disaster risk management. I will then open the floor for brief country interventions. It is now my pleasure, Excellencies, to invite the Executive Secretary, Ms. Armida Salcia Alice Jabana, to deliver her remarks.
Honorable Madame Lenora Kere Tabua, Chair of the session, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning. I'm very pleased to join all of you on this session on the sub-regional perspectives. Examining sub-regional perspective to leverage digital innovation for sustainable development enriches our understanding and exploration of regional and sub-regional cooperation, as well as the role of ESCAP. ESCAP's 5 sub-regions are very distinct and diverse, but experiences, challenges, and insights can be relevant across them, and as well as this is the source of the strength for further regional cooperation. For the Pacific small island developing states, given their geographical dispersion, digitalization is particularly important for connectivity, efficient delivery of public services, trade, climate resilience, and disaster risk reduction. In East and Northeast Asia, digital innovation is progressing to support environmental sustainability as well as for trade, transport, and energy. Digital initiatives on air pollution, disaster risk reduction, and aging populations are also noteworthy here. North and Central Asia has 7 landlocked developing countries, and digital innovations are critical for connectivity in transport, trade, and energy. In South and Southwest Asia, digital innovations have transformed the delivery of basic services and social protection and are contributing to addressing air pollution and disaster risk management. Southeast Asia has witnessed the transformative power of digital innovations for e-governance, e-commerce, and renewable energy. From these diverse experiences, common issues emerge across sub-regions, and I wish to highlight 2. The first one is the digital divide. People are still left behind in digital access and its benefits due to a complex array of factors, often structural, such as gender, income, education, social status, geographical isolation, and displacement. Without digital inclusion, digital innovation will be an SDG divider. A second challenge is which is shared across sub-region is risk management of fast evolving digital technologies. AI is adding complexity and unpredictability. Policy and regulatory frameworks and actions need to be adapted to manage these risks and to strike the right balance between technological progress and ethical and sustainable practices. What gives us hope is the abundance of knowledge, experience, and successes in Asia Pacific. The 5 sub-regions of ESCAP offer ample examples of digital innovations that provide solutions to development problems in a vast range of contexts. Some are at the vanguard of global technological innovation, while many have experiences responding to challenging contexts. Sub-regional cooperation is important in sharing ideas, technology, and capacities for digital solution. Cooperation enables economies of scale that can benefit government, private sector, and consumers of digital technologies. Common regulatory and policy framework can align national laws and policies to facilitate the digital connectivity. We can learn from today's distinguished panelists from public, private, academic, as well as civil society sectors, who will share sub-regional insights into digital innovation for SDG acceleration as well as disaster risk management. Furthermore, a valuable enabler of cooperation is sub-regional organization as they underpin important digital initiatives. The strong Pacific regional architecture has facilitated the creation of a Pacific digital hub. Organizations in North and Central Asia that also extend to other sub-regions are spearheading a digital single market, disaster risk information sharing, and cybersecurity capacity building. Southeast Asia has the ASEAN Digital Economy Framework Agreement. In East and Northeast Asia, the Greater Tumen Initiative has a digital economy cooperation roadmap. The trilateral cooperation mechanism tackles ICT and intellectual property rights and provide a trilateral framework to expand cooperation. In South Asia, the Bay of Bengal Cooperation Initiative under BIMSTEC offers a platform for cooperation in science, technology, and innovation, also connecting to Southeast Asia. Sub-regional organizations are important partners for ESCAP. Today, we are honored to have senior officials representing many of these organizations from actually several honorable Excellencies Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General from Pacific Island Forum, BIMSTEC, Trilateral Cooperation Secretariat, SICA, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, Economic Cooperation Organization, as well as SPC in our presence. We will hear from them shortly on their development priorities and more specifically their approach to digital cooperation. I'm also keen to hear their views on how we can strengthen our collaboration further, especially with ESCAP. I look forward to a fruitful exchange and reflection with contribution from the sub-regional organization, panelists, as well as member states. Thank you very much.
I thank you, Madam Executive Secretary. And now for opening remarks by sub-regional organizations. I have the honor of inviting the heads of sub-regional organizations in Asia and the Pacific to share their strategic priorities and highlight some of the joint activities with ESCAP to accelerate the implementation of the 2030 agenda in their respective sub-regions. First, may I invite His Excellency, Mr. Henry Puna, Secretary General, Pacific Islands Forum Secretariat, to deliver his statement. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Your Excellency, United Nations Under-Secretary General and Executive Secretary for ESCAP, Ms. Amira Ali Shabana. Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, warm Pacific greetings and a very good morning to you all. It is an honor to address this distinguished gathering, the 80th session of the Commission, to share a few remarks on the journey of our Blue Pacific region towards sustainable development and of the vital role of digital innovation in shaping our region's future. Our 2050 strategy for the Blue Pacific continent underscores the priority given to digital innovation by our Pacific leaders, particularly within the thematic pillar of technology and connectivity. This pillar is foundational, aimed at harnessing technology to improve public services, enhance disaster risk management, and foster economic growth through digital trade and entrepreneurship. Pacific ICT ministers reaffirmed this importance at their meeting last year with the adoption of the Langatoi Declaration on Digital Transformation of the Pacific that reiterated our commitment to further our endeavors towards a well-connected, inclusive, and resilient digital Pacific. Our partnerships, including with ESCAP, have been pivotal in driving digital initiatives that enhance connectivity and technological capabilities across the Pacific, aligning with our 2050 strategy's commitment to fully harness digital technologies. These collaborations are not only supporting the advancement of our connectivity, they are also boosting digital skills, playing a much-needed role in our ongoing efforts to achieve technological advancement and integration. A key product of the engagement with ESCAP has been the establishment of a Pacific Internet Exchange Point and the Digital Skills Hub at the University of the South Pacific. Two initiatives that serve as examples of how collaborative efforts can enhance our technological infrastructure and our educational frameworks. Initiatives that are not only about improving internet access, but are also fundamental to bridging the digital divide that separates our communities from the vast potential of the global digital economy. However, our path is not without challenges. The digital divide, economic disparities, and social inequalities persist, hindering our progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals and the aspirations of our 2050 strategy. But despite these challenges, the 2050 Strategy Implementation Plan, supported by the Langatoi Declaration on Digital Transformation of the Pacific, offers a roadmap filled with opportunities. Our vision is clear. We aim to leverage digital technologies to foster inclusive growth and enhance our resilience against environmental, economic, and social shocks. To this end, we have identified several regional collective actions that are particularly relevant to leveraging digital innovation for sustainable development. First, on strengthening governance and oversight, we are enhancing the governance of digital initiatives to ensure that they align with our regional priorities and deliver tangible benefits to our communities. Secondly, on building our capacities and capabilities. Through targeted training and education, we are increasing our technical expertise to manage and expand digital infrastructure effectively. And thirdly, on enhancing policy frameworks. We are developing policies that support the sustainable growth of digital economies, ensuring that digital innovations drive economic inclusivity and environmental sustainability. The Pacific Resilience Facility, for instance, is a strategic mechanism designed to streamline access to climate finance, which we are keen to leverage for enhancing our digital infrastructure resilience against natural disasters. Your Excellencies, Ministers, looking ahead, we invite all our stakeholders to engage deeply with our initiatives because in partnership, we can transform our challenges into opportunities. By aligning our actions with the strategic pathways of the 2050 strategy, focusing on governance, inclusion and equity, education, research, and technology, we can catalyze the transformative changes needed to secure a sustainable future for our Pacific. In conclusion, as we work towards the 2030 agenda, and our 2050 strategy for a Blue Pacific continent, let us strengthen our partnerships to ensure that innovation, collaboration, and strategic action drive digital innovation as a cornerstone of sustainable development in the Pacific. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Puna. I now invite to the podium His Excellency Mr. Indra Mani Pandey, Secretary General, Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation, to deliver his statement. Thank you, Mr. Pandey.
I thank you, Madam Chair, Madam Chairperson, Excellency Madam Armida Selassie Ali Shabana, Executive Secretary, ESCAP, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, members of ESCAP Secretariat, Namaskar, a very good morning to you all. I feel privileged to represent BIMSTEC at 80th session of the ESCAP. I thank ESCAP for the invitation to participate in this sub-regional dialogue, and I commend the ESCAP for institutionalizing and prioritizing sub-regional dialogues. As many of you may be aware, BIMSTEC is an intergovernmental organization with 7 member states bordering or located in close proximity of the Bay of Bengal. Out of our 7 members, 5, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, are from South Asia, and 2, Myanmar and Thailand, are from Southeast Asia. BIMSTEC thus serves as a vital link between 2 sub-regions of Asia, Southeast Asia and South Asia. BIMSTEC member states are home to 1.8 billion persons, almost a quarter of the global population. Moreover, our member states include some of the world's fastest growing economies, and their combined GDP in 2022 amounted to $4.5 trillion. BIMSTEC was established here in Bangkok in 1997. It has its own charter and well-established core and sectoral mechanisms, including periodical summits and ministerial meetings. There are clearly delineated 7 sectors of cooperation, with each member states leading cooperation in one specific sector. There are numerous expert groups, working groups, ministerial and other meetings, and action plans and master plans to pursue cooperation in these sectors. We have also set up a number of BIMSTEC centers. BIMSTEC takes its decisions by consensus, and our member states are like-minded in pursuit of technical and economic cooperation. The BIMSTEC Charter, adopted in March 2022, empowers it to engage in external relations to foster mutually beneficial cooperation with our developmental partners. I am delighted to inform that a MOU between BIMSTEC and ESCAP is being considered for formalizing our partnership. BIMSTEC already has MOUs with ADB and IFPRI, and MOUs with a few other organizations like UNODC, UNOPS, IORA, and World Bank are under consideration. We are open to explore opportunities for working together with interested member states as well as other UN, international, and regional organizations. I am pleased to inform you that the Charter of BIMSTEC also allows us to welcome observers and new members in accordance with the established procedures. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, as all the speakers during past 2 days of this session have underlined, digital innovation has emerged as an imperative for realization of SDGs Agenda 2030. It has been stressed that we must harness the power of digital and other technologies to address our pressing developmental, climate change, and other shared global challenges. It has been noted that digital technologies and innovations have enabled the states to better realize their SDGs, provide good governance, and promote and protect human rights. Digital solutions have been instrumental in realization of political, social, and economic inclusion. However, as highlighted by other speakers, realization of the goal of sustainable development, including through digital innovation, requires creation of digital public infrastructure, capacity building and digital skilling, and enactment of requisite regulatory frameworks to ensure equitable, affordable, secure, and safe access to digital platforms. Recognizing the importance of digital innovation as a key driver for their inclusive and sustainable development, BIMSTEC member states have embraced and leveraged digital technologies across various domains. They have attached a high importance to digital innovation and development and deployment of digital public infrastructure. For example, Bangladesh has adopted Smart Bangladesh Vision 2041 to transform Bangladesh into a knowledge-based society. Bhutan has launched National Digital Identity to provide secure digital authentication for citizens. India has launched Digital India Mission for digital transformation of the country, aimed at leveraging digital technologies for realization of SDGs, providing good and inclusive governance. Myanmar has a digital economy roadmap to foster economic growth by leveraging digital technologies. Nepal has e-government initiatives to digitalize public services. Sri Lanka has National Digital Strategy 2030 to enhance economic competitiveness, and Thailand, our host country, has launched Thailand 4.0, aimed at transforming Thailand into a high-income country driven by innovation, technology, and creativity. Despite these numerous initiatives and policies in place, BIMSTEC member states, like other states in Asia, have been confronted with the challenges of inadequate public infrastructure, cybersecurity, and absence of regulatory frameworks. As other countries in Asia and Pacific have faced similar challenges, there are opportunities for us to work together in devising appropriate strategies at the regional and sub-regional levels to address them. In this regard, BIMSTEC is ready to explore avenues for cooperation with various relevant international and regional organizations, including ESCAP, our host, in order to promote digital innovation for sustainable development. As I conclude, I would like to again thank, on behalf of the member states of BIMSTEC, the ESCAP for inviting me to attend this session. We are looking forward to forging close cooperative relations with ESCAP, and I thank you all for your kind attention and wish you all a fruitful and joyful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pandey. Excellencies, I now invite His Excellency, Mr. Khairat Saribhai, Secretary General, Conference on Interaction and Confidence Building Measures in Asia, to deliver his statement. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
Distinguished Chair, Madam Executive Secretary, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be invited to the 80s Commission session and participate in this high-level sub-regional dialogue addressing such a representative audience here in Bangkok. I'm honored to represent today the Conference on Interaction and Confidence Building Measures in Asia, SICA in short, which provides a multilateral platform for ensuring peace, security, and stability in Asia. Currently, SICA brings together 28 member states across Asia, covering almost 90% of its territory and comprising half of the world's population. One can say that SICA's geography stretches from the Pacific Ocean to the Mediterranean and from the Arctic to the Indian Oceans. Such a vast geography corresponds to a comprehensive agenda and diverse membership that are softly being channeled into harmonization, inclusivity, as well as integration into globally important decision-making processes. Through voluntary initiatives, we seek to elevate relationships from humble engagement to more profound, practically oriented cooperation, thereby creating conditions conducive for a more secure, stable, prosperous Asia and laying crucial fundamentals for effectively achieving the Sustainable Development Goals across Asia and beyond. As a multilateral platform, SICA offers an equal opportunity for its members with varying political, economic, and socio-cultural backgrounds to discuss key ideas, share knowledge and best practices, collaborate on mutually beneficial initiatives within 5 broad dimensions: military, political, economic, human, environmental, and new challenges and threats. A comprehensive list of all 18 areas of cooperation within these 5 dimensions is contained in the SICA Catalog of Confidence Building Measures, which serves as a basis for SICA practical activities and specific actions. These dimensions align with various aspects of sustainable development, underscoring our commitment to peace, cooperation, and regional prosperity. For example, our economic dimension promotes closer cooperation with focus on small and medium enterprises, trade, investment, and financing, as well as highlighting such areas as agriculture, tourism, and information technologies, all of which are essential for fostering economic growth and poverty eradication. Additionally, our human dimension focuses on human rights, gender equality, and social justice, which are fundamental for building inclusive and equitable societies. Furthermore, our environmental dimension emphasizes environmental protection, natural disaster management, and sustainable resource management, directly contributing to environmental sustainability goals outlined in the SDGs 13, 14, and 15. Lastly, our new challenges and threats dimension addresses emerging global issues such as terrorism, illicit drug trafficking, and ICT security, which intersect with multiple SDGs. Essentially, SICA's comprehensive strategy positions it as a significant contributor to promoting sustainable development in Asia. Esteemed colleagues and delegates, in 2022, the 6th SICA Summit launched the SICA's transformation into a full-fledged regional international organization. Moreover, the summit has established the SICA Fund to facilitate SICA project activities, adopted the SICA Action Plan to implement the UN Global Counterterrorism Strategy, the Statement on Cooperation in the area of security of and in the use of ICTs, and other significant decisions. At this summit meeting, President of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, current chair of SICA, put forward several initiatives to further strengthen cooperation and proposed to establish the establishment of the SICA Council on Sustainable Connectivity to address contemporary challenges in the global economy, including supply chain disruptions. This ambitious initiative aims to enhance transit and transport potential across SICA member states spanning vast geographic regions. Additionally, Kazakh chairmanship initiated the high-level environmental conference showcasing SICA's commitment to environmental protection and sustainable development. These events will be held in the end of August this year as a SICA ministerial conference. Apart from that, the SICA member states have recently agreed that volunteerism is an essential social phenomenon that significantly contributes to sustainable development, and in September 2023 adopted a ministerial statement on promoting volunteerism for sustainable development. As a practical step in these directions, Kazakhstan is going to organize a rally of volunteer movement leaders under the auspices of the SICA Youth Council in Astana later this year. Ladies and gentlemen, in today's interconnected world, the role of information technology and digital innovation cannot be overstated. As we strive to achieve sustainable development goals and effectively manage natural disasters, harnessing the power of technology is essential. SICA remains committed to leveraging digital innovation to promote sustainable development, enhance disaster preparedness and response, and address social challenges such as poverty alleviation and healthcare. Within SICA, priority area of information technology is under the economic dimension, with South Korea and Bangladesh coordinating interaction in this sphere. Several seminars and workshops have been organized in the last few years, addressing such topics as digitalization of the economy, new realities in the field of ICTs, especially amid the post-COVID recovery, digital solutions for agriculture and SMEs. The SICA member states are actively addressing various challenges related to environmental sustainability, including green transformation, regional environmental issues, biocircular economy, sustainable development, and disaster risk reduction. Thailand serves as a coordinator country for the Sustainable Development Priority Area, playing a leading role within the SICA. For example, in 2022, Thailand organized an international training course on sustainable waste management in a circular economy as a part of its initiatives. Meanwhile, Iran is leading efforts in natural disaster management, preparing conceptual approaches towards future cooperation in this area. Bangladesh, as a co-coordinator country, is actively involved in organizing events, exemplified by the SICA workshop on ecosystem restoration in the context of climate and other vulnerability held last year, which highlighted the region's vulnerability to environmental challenges. Through these collaborative efforts, SICA member states are working to combat environmental threats and promote sustainable development in the region by sharing best practices. Indeed, innovation is crucial due to its potential to revolutionize disaster readiness, response, and recovery efforts. In an era marked by increasingly frequent and severe natural disasters, leveraging digital technologies can enhance early warning systems, facilitate rapid communication and coordination among responders, and streamline relief efforts. By prioritizing digital innovation in disaster risk management at the regional and sub-regional level, countries can strengthen their resilience to disasters and minimize the loss of life and property. In this regard, the synergy between SICA and the ESCAP is significant. Both organizations share a common vision of promoting cooperation and development in the Asia-Pacific region. By aligning our efforts and leveraging our respective strengths, we can maximize our impact and address the complex challenges facing our region more effectively. Later today, after lunch, there will be a SICA ESCAP side event dedicated to the role of regional partnerships in achieving the SDGs, including through the efficient use of digital innovations. I warmly welcome you, distinguished colleagues, to join this important seminar that would contribute to a deeper dialogue among policy decision makers and key stakeholders on the key findings and policy recommendations of this year's Commission's theme. In conclusion, let me reaffirm our commitment to the principles of cooperation, dialogue, and mutual respect as we work together to build a more prosperous and peaceful future for our region. Let us seize the opportunities presented by digital innovation and sustainable development to create a better world for generations to come. I thank you.
Thank you for your statement, Mr. Saribhai. Excellencies, to deliver his statement now, I invite His Excellency Mr. Lee Hee-sup, Secretary General, Trilateral Cooperation Secretariat, for his statement. Thank you, Excellency.
Excellencies, distinguished participants, I am honored to participate in this session on behalf of the Trilateral Cooperation Secretariat, TCS. TCS is in Northeast Asia, China, Japan, and Korea, 3 countries international organization. I would like to deliver my intervention by highlighting 2 points from the perspective of TCS. First, I will elaborate on the cooperative project that we have done with the ESCAP and its main achievements. Second, I would like to introduce and present the future plans of expanding cooperation on digital innovation. Please allow me to first illustrate the importance of science and technological innovation in China, Japan, and Korea. At the Trilateral Summit in 2019, the leaders of the three countries released at the Trilateral Cooperation Vision for the next decade, where they identified scientific and technological revolution as the key to addressing common regional and global issues. This point was also echoed at the latest Trilateral Foreign Ministers meeting, where the science and technology, digital transition, was emphasized as the core area of cooperation. Furthermore, the Trilateral meeting of CJK intellectual property offices actively discussed the agenda on AI-generated inventions and examination of AI-related innovations in its latest meeting. These endeavors prove that digital innovation turns out to be at the heart of the trilateral cooperation. Recognizing this trend, TCS is exploring various ways to promote digital transition and sustainable development in the sub-region. Especially, we are focusing on employing the trilateral plus X modality with the help with the ESCAP. As an example, I am pleased to share the outcomes of the third Carbon Neutrality Forum, which was co-convened with the ESCAP and the UN Climate Action Team last March in Seoul. At this forum, we invited experts, academics, and the private sector to analyze the role of digital innovation in achieving carbon neutrality and just transition. We discovered new innovative technologies and policy strategies that could boost carbon neutrality and the net zero goals of CJK. The event proved to be an excellent example of the trilateral plus X model, as we created a platform for not only CJK but also a significant stakeholder state, Mongolia, as well as other international organizations. In addition, we co-convened a session with the ESCAP at the 2023 IFTC International Forum for Trilateral Cooperation on the topic of aging society and digital economy. In this session, we discussed the virtuous cycle between digitalization and aging, how it can contribute to the sustainable growth of the region. We had two speakers from ESCAP who presented case studies from across the region, as well as ESCAP's latest project on supporting digital capacities for older persons. Thanks to ESCAP's contribution, the session bore fruits of success and served as a bridge for inclusive and sustainable digital transition. As for our near future plan, we will once again delve into the theme of digital technologies in our upcoming IFTC 2024. One of our sessions will discuss how digital tools are used for improving mutual perception among the citizens of CJK, and how it can ultimately contribute to the common growth of the region. We hope to discover interesting new findings on how we can improve sub-regional peace building, which is also one of the SDGs. In the long term, our interest is in working closely with not only ESCAP, but also with our central governments on this matter. Along with the Trilateral Summit, ministerial meetings on science and technology, as well as ICT, is held to examine scientific solutions for sustainable developments in Northeast Asia. Our goal is to link our work to these governmental mechanisms and identify how we can develop the digital solutions for common prosperity. In this process, a close partnership with the ESCAP will continue in parallel to ensure meaningful outcomes. Honorable participants, China, Japan, and Korea have witnessed an exciting era of rapid technological development, and we have seen how we can enrich our society. We are now ready to share this experience with the rest of the region, and TCS will be at the center for future cooperation. I look forward to listening to the remaining panel discussions and learn more about your endeavors on these themes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Excellencies, I now invite to the podium Mr. Shurat Zobirzoda, Deputy Secretary General, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, to deliver his statement. Thank you, sir.
Уважаемая госпожа председатель, ваше превосходительство, госпожа Армида Сальсия Алиджабана, уважаемые главы делегации, уважаемые участники мероприятия. Прежде всего, позвольте от имени генерального секретаря Шанхайской организации сотрудничества господина Джанмина передать искренние сердечные приветствия участникам сегодняшнего мероприятия и пожелать всем нам успешного и результативного мероприятия. В эти дни проходит 80-я юбилейная сессия ESCAP. По этому случаю искренне поздравляю руководство и команду секретариата ESCAP и других участников с этим знаменательным событием. ESCAP в очередной раз подтверждает звание ведущей профильной площадки, ориентированной на рассмотрение наиболее актуальных и приоритетных вопросов для Азиатско-Тихоокеанского региона, таких как цифровая трансформация и инновации, цифровое управление и развитие, цифровые технологии, которые демонстрируют имеющиеся перспективы смартизации экономического развития региона в будущем. ESCAP ООН является активным партнером ШОС почти с первых лет создания нашей организации. Наработан хороший опыт взаимодействия в различных форматах и участия секретариата ШОС в сегодняшнем мероприятии наряду с другими авторитетными международными и региональными организациями является очередным примером высокого уровня взаимодействия между нашими структурами. Уважаемые участники, развивающиеся цифровые технологии и инновации придают мощный импульс глобальному росту и играют значительную роль в повышении качества жизни мирового сообщества в целом. Благодаря цифровым технологиям и инновациям взаимодействие между нашими государственными структурами, бизнесом и обществом возможно вывести на качественно новый уровень. Цифровая трансформация является движущей силой глобального, инклюзивного и устойчивого роста и может способствовать достижению целей, закрепленных в повестке дня в области устойчивого развития на период до 2030 года. Можно с уверенностью сказать, что сейчас бизнес развивается в рамках двух парадигм – традиционной и новой. Причем вторая включает в себя цифровую экономику, которая становится двигателем роста и развития экономических и индустриальных сфер. В данном контексте необходимо подчеркнуть, что электронная коммерция является одной из важнейших технологий современности, обеспечивающих высокие темпы роста экономики стран. Для современного бизнеса электронная коммерция решает очень важную задачу по повышению конкурентоспособности компаний, становясь наиболее эффективным механизмом перераспределения и упорядочения рынка, определяющего формирование эффективной и прибыльной торговли. Уважаемые коллеги, Шанхайская организация сотрудничества придает большое значение укреплению сотрудничества в области инноваций и цифровых технологий. Их использование в различных социально-экономических аспектах в рамках ШОС. В рамках нашей организации в этой сфере, в этом направлении выработана солидная договорно-правовая база, созданы эффективные механизмы взаимодействия и проводятся соответствующие мероприятия, поддерживая развитие многосторонней цифровизации. Постковидную эпоху, следует также отметить, что постковидную эпоху инноваций в сфере электронной торговли и цифровой экономики стали новым двигателем экономического и торгового сотрудничества между странами ШОС с высокой степенью активности и потенциалом развития, вносящим достойный вклад в экономическое развитие стран и увеличение доходов ее граждан. ШОС выступает за интеграцию цифровых решений в приоритетных сферах, таких как финансовая сфера, в том числе в осуществлении цифровых платежей и обмен передовым опытом среди наших государств-членов. Наша цель – широкое распространение цифровых услуг и обеспечение их доступности для населения государств-членов нашей организации. Хотел бы подчеркнуть, что государства-члены ШОС, объединяющие 9 стран Евразии и почти половину населения планеты, на долю которого приходится 44% интернет-пользователей всего мира, признают важность развития цифровых технологий, в том числе в области создания электронного правительства, цифровой экономики, образования в сфере информационно-коммуникационных технологий. Тем не менее, потенциал цифровых технологий в преобразовании социальной, культурной и экономической жизни пока не в полной мере реализован. Государства-члены намерены продолжить усилия, чтобы преимущества цифровой трансформации стали доступными и недорогими для полной реализации человеческого потенциала. Таким образом, наша организация в полном соответствии с шанхайским духом стремится вносить свой ответственный посильный вклад в общемировые усилия по достижению глобального и устойчивого развития. Уважаемые участники диалога, проведение подобных мероприятий сегодняшнему играет важную роль в деле продвижения новых современных направлений экономического взаимодействия на благо наших народов. Шанхайская организация сотрудничества подтверждает принцип открытости на основе широкого международного сотрудничества. В заключение хочу еще раз пожелать всем участникам 80-й сессии ESCAP и нашего диалога высокого уровня, больших успехов, плодотворной работы и достижения намеченных целей. Спасибо за внимание.
Thank you for your statement, Mr. Zobizorda. I now give the floor, Excellencies, to Mr. Kasif Zaman, Deputy Secretary General, Economic Cooperation Organization, for his statement. You have the floor, Mr. Zaman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Honorable Executive Secretary, Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. It is an honor to represent the Economic Cooperation Organization at this significant gathering, with my special gratitude to the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific for arranging this important event. Distinguished participants, in this era of rapid technological advancement, digitalization is not simply a tool, but a transformative force reshaping economies, governance structures, and societal frameworks. It is imperative that we fully leverage this potential to achieve collective vision of sustainable development across our nations. In this regard, the ECO Vision 2025 serves as a testament to our unwavering commitment to aligning regional efforts with the global agenda outlined in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Our initiatives in trade, transport, communication, and energy sectors are carefully crafted to intersect with the Sustainable Development Goals, highlighting our holistic approach towards achieving a prosperous and inclusive future. With a keen eye on emerging digitalization trends, we are poised to enhance sustainability and foster development on a broader scale. Our collaboration with eminent partners, such as the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, is instrumental in advancing our collective goals. Through joint endeavors, we strive to facilitate digital trade, enhance transportation infrastructure, digitalization of cross-border transport through smart road and rail solutions, and fortify disaster resilience strategies. The finalization of a fresh ESCAP Memorandum of Understanding in 2021 further solidifies our commitment to fostering regional cooperation and integration, laying the groundwork for sustained progress and prosperity. Excellencies, the Asia-Pacific region, while abundant in economic opportunities, is also highly vulnerable to a myriad of natural and man-made hazards. Recognizing this reality, we are steadfast in our commitment to disaster risk reduction efforts. By leveraging progressive digital modeling techniques and early warning systems, we endeavor to mitigate the impact of disasters and build resilient communities capable of withstanding future challenges. The existing partnership between ECO and ESCAP stands as a testament to our collaborative excellence in advancing sustainable development through digital innovation across Asia and the Pacific. As we embark on the journey together, we envision a future where digitalization permeates all development sectors, fostering resilience and inclusivity. With a shared commitment to harnessing the power of technology for positive change, we are poised to drive transformative progress and shape a more digitally empowered eco-region. Dear delegates, looking ahead, ECO remains resolute in its pursuit of regional and global cooperation. Our active participation in forums such as the Asia-Pacific Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction underscores our dedication to sharing best practices, enhancing capacity building efforts, and fostering a culture of collaboration. It is through such concerted actions guided by the principle of sustainability and inclusivity that we can pave the way for a future characterized by shared prosperity and resilience. In conclusion, let us reaffirm our commitment to leveraging digital innovation as a catalyst for sustainable development in Asia and the Pacific. Together, we can chart a course towards the future where technological advancements are harnessed for the greater good, leaving no one behind in our pursuit of a more equitable and sustained world. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Mr. Zaman. I would now like to ask the conference room officer to play the video message from Mr. Satvinder Singh, Deputy Secretary General, Secretariat of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations.
Your Excellency, Ms. Alice Jabana, the Under-Secretary General of the United Nations, who is also the Executive Secretary of ESCAP, distinguished fellow panelists from the regional organizations from around the globe, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. It is an honor for me to address this esteemed gathering at the high-level dialogue organized by ESCAP with the theme of leveraging digital innovation for sustainable development in Asia and Pacific. I'm extremely pleased to share the ASEAN perspective, especially on how digital innovation can be harnessed to accelerate the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, as well as how digital can be also helping us in strengthening both regional and sub-regional cooperation. Let me begin by highlighting the vast economic opportunities that are present within the ASEAN region, where we have consistently been demonstrating remarkable economic resilience, again supported by robust domestic as well as external demands. Growth in our ASEAN region is forecasted to reach 4.7% in 2024, outpacing the estimated global average of 3.1%. Additionally, ASEAN continues to be a preferred investment destination, which is evidenced by the staggering $225.8 billion in foreign direct investments that we achieved, which again makes us amongst the largest recipients among the developing nations. Now, moving on to the areas that are relatively new to ASEAN, we also kind of remain committed, especially in embracing and embedding digitalization as well as sustainable development in all of our regional endeavors. We recognize the transformative impact of digital innovation that will foster greater connectivity, greater amount of collaboration, and a lot more prosperity for our economies, societies, and helping us in our governance structures. In an increasing interconnected and digitalized world, leveraging innovative technologies is not just an option, but it's becoming a lot more a necessity for fostering inclusive growth that was going to help us in enhancing efficiency as well as helping us in promoting sustainable development. And in this era of rapid technological advancement, digital innovation clearly stands at the forefront of transformation and progress, and it has the power to bridge divide as well as to catalyze development and foster inclusive growth across our diverse regions. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to share with all of you that there are some practical efforts that are currently being undertaken in ASEAN in this regard. First, ASEAN has launched the negotiations for the upgrade of the ASEAN Trade in Goods Agreement, in short we call it ATIGA, that began in March of 2022. And this charts the ambitious as well as the new pathways for the region to go beyond the traditional trade in goods elements and cover emerging issues such as circular and green economy, as well as digitalization and sustainability. This upgraded ATIGA, it clearly holds great promise in bringing in new potential benefits to enhance trade facilitation and regional cooperation, especially the movement of circular products around the globe. Secondly, in September of 2023, we will also proudly launch the ASEAN Digital Economic Framework Agreement. In short, we call it DEFA, which again fortifies the belief that as a cohesive digital agenda for the region, the DEFA is going to serve as a powerful enabler for furthering our regional integration and cooperation. The launch of DEFA is definitely making ASEAN a global pioneer in digital front. This legally binding agreement is expected to help the region double our economic contribution of digital economy, where we were projecting a US $1 trillion growth by 2030 with DEFA, which is coming into force in next year in 2025. We could actually help our economy, our digital economy, grow by almost USD 2 trillion. Thirdly, allow me to also share some of the ASEAN initiatives in sustainable development, which is obviously the current global buzzword. As we continue to consolidate our efforts towards sustainable development through our circular economy as well as our carbon neutrality initiatives, I'm pleased to inform that in ASEAN, the leaders have come together to adopt 3 very key documents that will drive the industrial transformation in the region towards a much more sustainable way of production and consumption. First, we have the ASEAN Framework for Circular Economy for the ASEAN Economic Community. Second, we also have the ASEAN Strategy for Carbon Neutrality. And third, we are also currently having the ASEAN Blue Economy Framework and currently working on the implementation plan. All of these policy documents provide a clear and a structured pathway for ASEAN to be able to decarbonize as well as to preserve our future competitiveness and relevancy, given the shift in the requirements in international trade towards much more focus on sustainability. This green transition of the region is definitely going to help us create significant value add to the economies of the ASEAN member states, while at the same time helping us achieve our joint environmental objectives and targets that we have set for by each of the 10 member countries. And it is expected that we can get it all up and running and accepted and rolled out. This will help us create up to about $5.3 trillion of additional GDP uplift for the region. And at the same time, we could attract close to about $6.7 trillion of FDI in green investments. And at the same time, that could further generate 66 million new jobs for the region by the year of 2050. Finally, I must also mention ASEAN's commitment to our private sector in helping them nurture a thriving digital ecosystem that will encourage entrepreneurship, that will encourage creativity, and that will encourage innovation. In fact, through various programs and initiatives to support the MSMEs and the startups in our region, such as capacity building trainings, such as access to financing as well as mentorship programs and opportunities, we believe we can support the growth of digital startups. We believe we can help in the promotion of better quality technology transfer in our region. At the same time, we believe we can also help the fostering of a culture of innovation across our region. In closing, let me also share my deep gratitude, especially to the ESCAP for convening this very important dialogue, and to all participants that are here today for all your commitment in advancing sustainable development through digital innovation. Together, I believe we all can come together to harness the power of digital technologies to accelerate progress towards SDGs, at the same time paving a way for a much brighter tomorrow for all of us.
Thank you. Excellencies, we will now continue with the two panel discussions, and for this, I would like to now hand over to Mr. Ganbold Basanjav, Head East and Northeast Asia Office of ESCAP, to moderate the first panel, and then to Ms. Andy Fongtoy, Head Sub-Regional Office for the Pacific of ESCAP, who will moderate the second panel. Mr. Basanjav, Ms. Fongtoy, you have the floor.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Good morning, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. In this panel, we have 4 distinguished members. This panel will share sub-regional and cross-sub-regional perspectives on digital innovations and bridging digital divide to accelerate progress towards sustainable development goals, including key areas for collaboration with ESCAP. I would like to ask each speaker to speak in 5 minutes. The first speaker for this panel is Mr. Parinand Varnasawang, Office of the High National Education, Science, Research, Innovation Policy Council, Minister of Education, Thailand. Mr. Varnasawang, you have the floor.
Thank you, Kanpo. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, esteemed colleagues, it is my privilege to address this distinguished panel today, sharing my perspectives on higher education and building international partnerships for sustainable development in Asia and the Pacific through leveraging digital innovation. Higher education institutions and agencies in Thailand are aware of the role of digital innovation in shaping the future and accelerating the achievement of SDGs. The Thai Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation expects universities to lead the way to utilize digital innovations and technologies as a principal mechanism for national development towards future sustainability and for university transformation towards digital universities. This is in accordance with the digitalization and for education and learning reform policy in the National Higher Education Plan 2021 through 2027. There are 3 reform issues in this policy. First is the digital learning reform. Secondly, the big data for education. And thirdly, the digital citizenship with digital literacy, information literacy and media literacy, and learning how to learn capability. Those are the 3 reform issues according to this policy. Digital universities must engage with digital innovations and technologies threefold. First, they must utilize digital technologies in its operations, both front office and back office, as well as more flexible educational service provision, such as the provision of massive online courses. And secondly, they must shape the future of workforce that are well equipped with 21st century skills and be resilient to rapid technological changes. And finally, they must take a leading role in the development and diffusion of digital innovations and technologies in collaboration with industry and civil society. Through working with the Knowledge Network Institute of Thailand, the Digital Maturity Model tool is used to assess universities nationwide, their readiness to become a digital universities with funding from Thailand Science Research and Innovation. So the assessment and the assistance program is still going on. The ministry itself has also utilized big data analytics to ensure equal opportunities for higher education for extremely poor students in collaboration with the Equitable Education Fund and all the university networks in Thailand, making sure that no one is left behind. Since 2018, the Equitable Education Fund has established mechanisms to assist vulnerable students in receiving basic education and staying enrolled in schools or non-formal education through direct financial support and other means supported by information system and research. And since 2022, it has collaborated with the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation and networks of universities to expand the scope of assistance towards higher education, making sure that vulnerable students who seek to have college degrees can do so continuously through data sharing, connecting the databases of all parties, and use big data analytics to identify students and match the available financial resources and track their progress through the course of study. However, achieving sustainable development requires interdisciplinary approach, multi-stakeholder collaborations, and international partnership. Regional dialogues among policymakers, academics, practitioners, and other stakeholders are helpful for knowledge exchange and best practice sharing that could lead to regional collaborative projects for sustainable development. The role of ESCAP and sub-regional organizations such as ASEAN and ASEAN University Network, for example, cannot be denied. So that's my perspective. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Varnasavan, for the insights. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Sarah McCartney, Regional Director, Secretariat of the Pacific Community. Sarah, you have the floor.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished colleagues, warm greetings from the Pacific. It's my privilege to be here today to help contribute to shedding light on the critical importance of nurturing and promoting ICT and digital transformation in the Pacific. Pacific SIDS encounter formidable barriers when it comes to embracing digital transformation, from our vast geographical spread to relatively small population sizes, limited economic markets, connectivity gaps, and infrastructure constraints. The hurdles are significant. However, we know that within these obstacles lie abundant opportunities. Digital technologies have the power to boost socio-economic development and resilient development, bridge vast trade distances, integrate urban and rural markets, and open doors to local, regional, and international opportunities for Pacific nations. The Pacific community, with other technical and development partners, are leading the way in digital innovation with a number of groundbreaking programs in fisheries, agriculture, education, disaster management, and climate action. Initiatives, for example, such as electronic monitoring and reporting in the fishing industry, has revolutionized data collection processes, enhancing efficiency to support sustainable management of our tuna fisheries and marine resources. I have quite a number of innovations that have been co-developed, co-designed, and co-applied in the region, but I will just give you a teaser and encourage you to visit our side event this afternoon at 12:45 in the Asia Pacific foyer. E-agriculture platforms are boosting knowledge and capacity for the agriculture and forestry sectors through information and learning exchanges to inform actions and policy discussions between regional experts, between national governments, and with farming communities. For example, the Pacific Pests and Pathogens application is an example of expanding the reach of extension offices across multiple islands, even in locations without internet coverage, highlighting the transformative potential of ICT in the agricultural sector. We have further examples in education and in health. But connectivity is disparate in the region. The Pacific SIDS mobile network coverage is lower than in LDCs, impacting our ability to meaningfully engage in the digital economy. However, we have witnessed, and as yesterday we have heard from some of our Pacific delegates here, of some of the innovations, such as e-commerce platforms, M-Strait Space Limited in Papua New Guinea, Fiji's Sol FinTech app, and in Tonga, mobile applications community for an information system designed to improve early warning and early response to hazards and disaster events. We also have the Digital Earth Pacific Initiative, which utilizes satellite data for Earth and ocean observations to track ecosystem changes, coastline alterations, and infrastructure developments to inform and accelerate climate, disaster, oceans, food systems, and natural resource management policy actions. The Pacific Data Hub initiative is also a strong collaboration of caring for data and actually applying that not just at government or at private sector, but also at community level. To fully leverage these opportunities requires concerted efforts. We have to co-design, we have to co-invest, we have to cooperate if these are to be realized. Prioritizing digital literacy, ensuring affordable and reliable broadband access, and cultivating a supportive environment for digital entrepreneurship are vital steps. Collaboration among governments, private sector, stakeholders, and international organizations is crucial to propel and scale up these initiatives. By empowering local entrepreneurs, bridging connectivity divides, and fostering an innovation-friendly ecosystem, we can together unleash the transformative power of digital technologies for sustainable and inclusive growth in our Blue Pacific region. So I challenge us all, together, let us pave the way for a brighter, digitally empowered, inclusive future for the Pacific. Thank you. Oh, I did 20 seconds over.
Thank you, Sarah, for the perspectives from the Pacific. Now, may I invite Dr. Aladdin Rilo, Managing Director, Economic Research Institute of ASEAN and East Asia. Dr. Rilo, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Ganbold, and good morning to all. I would like to frame my remarks by raising 2 points. The first point that I would like to highlight here is the importance of policy institutes in promoting digital transformation in any regions in Asia and the Pacific. I think we all recognize that an integral aspect of digital transformation in any region is the role of knowledge, and particularly how that particular knowledge is being used to be able to understand the complexities of digital technologies, particularly in terms of how the different digital technologies are also being used as solutions to development challenges. My personal view here is that we need digital innovation because it necessitates what I think is that seamless sharing of information and ideas, and even critical capabilities that are important for digital transformation. I think in that particular aspect, policy think tanks and institutes have a very important role. We also need to recognize that when we talk about digital transformation or digital innovation, this is not only about generating huge amount of data or adapting new technologies. For me, to be able to fully embrace digital innovation and digital transformation, there is a need to also change our mindset, our talents, as well as skills, in order to make sure that the benefits of digital transformation are able to put on the ground and impact everyone in any community. The way I see it, digital transformation is about people, and how we can make sure that this knowledge of digital transformation is really affecting everyone in the region. When you look at Asia and the Pacific and different sub-regions in this region, I think all of the sub-regions, all countries in this region, are actually experiencing a lot of challenges in terms of their digital transformation and innovation. I think in addition to investing in critical digital infrastructure and digital innovation, there are still a lot of critical areas that need to be addressed to make sure that each country is able to have this digital transformation in place, including, for example, how do you leverage technologies to have supply chain connectivity. There are also issues related to skilling of small enterprises, issues related to enhancing e-governance, as well as issues related to strengthening cybersecurity as well as data governance. For me, these are issues that we need to confront. Unfortunately, it is also a reality here that addressing these issues is not really straightforward. Therefore, the problem is because there's still there's still need, in my view, a more robust regulatory environment to be able to support a well-functioning digital transformation and digital innovation. The problem is that that does not really exist in most countries in Asia and the Pacific. Therefore, the way I see it, the challenge, particularly for policymakers here, is not only to understand how technologies work or the importance of these different digital technologies. More than that, I think it is very important to recognize here that policymakers must be able to put in place the right strategies, regulations, and actions to be able to make sure that all those actions are contributing to this digital transformation that would eventually lead to our ability to address digital transformation. Within ASEAN, for example, within my institute, we just established last year the new Center on Digital Innovation and Sustainable Development, because we recognize that we need to have the ability to help policymakers in understanding the whole gamut of digital transformation and sustainability in this region. The second point that I would like to highlight here is the importance of implementation capacity. Again, if you look at the region, every sub-region in Asia-Pacific has been implementing a lot of initiatives to promote digital innovation and transformation. What is important to recognize here is that the countries in the region have been successful in putting in place all these initiatives. But the problem here is that the implementation of these initiatives does not really measure up. For example, if you look at ASEAN, there's a lot of initiatives on digital adoption in the region, but there's still a lot of critical needs that need to be addressed in terms of adoption, affordability, policy, and skills related to digital economy. Similarly, as you heard earlier from the DG, from the Deputy Secretary General of ASEAN, there are initiatives on blue economy, circular economy in place in ASEAN. But I think the problem is that there is a need for a more coherent approach in terms of how to implement all these different initiatives. Because at the end of the day, in the absence of this coherent approach, we'll still be dealing with the same problems of addressing these sustainability issues. So moving forward, I think what is critical here when we talk about digital transformation and connectivity is to make sure that each country has the urge or the capacity to implement those. And for me, there are two possibilities here. One, we need to make sure that we're able to consolidate the different initiatives on digital transformation in each country. And if it's possible, we need to really reinforce the existing mechanisms to make sure that our approach to addressing sustainability and digital transformation is more coherent and targeted. Secondly, it is also very important to have a very strong and robust implementation capacity in order for us to be able to measure success and to make sure that all the indicators of our efforts are being captured. I think these are all important to be able to have a digitally driven, inclusive, and sustainable future in Asia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Rilo, for your insightful presentation. Now, the last but not least speaker in this panel is Ms. Patama Chantorak, Country Managing Director, Accenture, Thailand.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Patama, you have the floor.
Thank you. Excellency, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to address this important topic. A couple of years ago, we realized that there's no way to address environmental issues without addressing social issues. The world is going to provide us with different situations that we need to solve. So imagine if we don't have such tight boundary, what would people naturally bring forward? So we settle on 3 themes here in Accenture. So the first one, nature and biodiversity. The second one, sustainable system and industry. And then the third one, equity and human well-being. So we have nearly 900 ideas in total, and I feel so inspired to discuss that and share it with you. So the idea went from helping people in the prison system to helping elderly people and to host of very specific environmental issues. So if I were to summarize 3 things that each of my esteemed colleagues already share, the most important one is technology, which is now at the heart of innovation and sustainability. We believe that technology is at the forefront of innovation for good. Leveraging technologies such as artificial intelligence, big data, blockchain, and Internet of Things, enterprises can help address specific SDGs. For example, we're helping our private sector client to leverage AI to emphasize and optimize energy consumption, as well as technologies like IoT for resource management in smart city and sustainable communities. The second one, talent and skill development is also key. We believe that digital talent and skills will be key for economic and social progress in our region. We work with private sector and public agency in Asia Pacific to ensure that the current and future workforce has the necessary skill for such sustainable digital innovation. Last but not least, partnership and collaboration are vital for a healthy ecosystem. Strong collaboration between the private sector, governments, non-governmental organization, and university can create multiplier synergy. So I'm going to use what I call proactive and practical project that sum up the 3 keys, things that I discussed earlier. I'm sure all of you have seen a very heartwarming speech. It's impactful moment of the 2021 United Nations Climate Change, or COP26, when the Minister of Foreign Affairs delivered a speech wearing a suit and tie, stood knee-deep in seawater, and spoke about how Tuvalu, a small Pacific island nation with 12,000 people, is on the front line of climate change. He told the world that we are sinking, but so is everyone else. So Tuvalu consists of 9 low-lying islands in South Pacific, and they are relatively close together. And each year, they're facing the rising about 0.5 centimeter annually of seawater rising. So according to the NBC, the island highest point is only 15 feet above the sea level. That means that by taking no global climate action, it could be submerged entirely within some of our lifetime. So in partnership with the government, we help bringing the technology called Metaverse into helping Tuvalu becoming the world's first completely digitized nation. So now the government administrative services, preservation of historical documents, cultural and identity records, land, and natural resources for future generations become cloud nation, the first completely digitized nation. So we here commit to make the world a better place. The sustainability challenge is about possibility. So let be change, and it's going to be heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chantarak, for those private sector perspectives. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the first panel discussion. Please join me giving a big big hand to our panel members for their insights and perspectives shared. Now I hand over the floor to Ms. Andy Fontoy, Head of Pacific Office of ESCAP, to moderate the second panel and invite her and panelists to come to the podium.
Thank you very much, Gunbold. Good morning, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. In this second panel, we will focus on how digital innovations can best be used for disaster risk management. I'm sure, as many of you are aware, Asia and the Pacific is highly prone and vulnerable to climatic and other natural disasters. I will request the panel to share perspectives and experiences on how digital tools and innovation are transforming disaster risk management and enhancing access and inclusion of the most vulnerable people to life-saving information. I'll also request the panel to highlight how sub-regional and cross-regional cooperation, including with ESCAP, can benefit from and contribute to effective digital innovation for disaster risk management in Asia and the Pacific. So may I first invite Mr. Ali Sharif from the Regional Integrated Multi-Hazard Early Warning System for Africa and Asia, the RIMES Secretariat, to speak to us this morning about the work that RIMES is doing and to basically broadly answer those two questions I've posed. Thank you, Mr. Sharif. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. RIMES emerged out of the lessons of the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami that brought an unprecedented scale of devastation across Asia and Africa and relies heavily on digital tools and platforms. We thank ESCAP for establishing RIMES through the Tsunami Trust Fund and for your continued support throughout these years. Over the past 15 years from its inception, RIMES countries established data sharing protocols, share data with RIMES with the mandate to transform climate and weather data into usable information for decision-making and early warning through the co-production of decision support systems. RIMES acquired technical and management capacities to be the regional reservoir of digital tools and innovations to meet the demands of its members and collaborating countries for providing state-of-the-art advanced data analytic capabilities, including machine learning, predictive analytics, and data visualization tools. These capabilities help in processing large volumes of data collected from various sources to transform climate and weather hazard data into information for decision-making purposes, for enhancing the capacities of disaster management agencies to anticipate and manage disaster risk. RIMES developed and customized several software systems and tools for various countries, which include ShakeMap Broadcast or ShakeCast, which is an automated post-earthquake damage assessment tool for estimating risks to population and critical facilities using real or near real-time data from an earthquake event. PRECISE is a tsunami forecasting tool used to determine tsunami arrival time, directivity, amplitudes, and inundation. INSPIRE is an expanded PRECISE tool generating a tsunami hazard, vulnerability, and risk assessment for producing tsunami inundation maps that show maximum inundation depths, maximum flow velocities, estimated tsunami arrival time, and tsunami loss estimates in terms of probability of casualty, building collapse or damage for different building types, and number of buildings that could be inundated at an inundation depth range for buildings of different construction and occupancy types. ESCAP is a system that provides information and guide on evacuation zones with designated shelters, evacuation path and time, and evacuation maps and direction. OSFAS is a platform that provides 3-day forecasts for different parameters, wave and swell height, direction and period, sea surface current and temperature, wind speed, as well as advisories for fisheries. Forecast Customization System, or FOCUS, is a tool that helps NMHs to generate and validate customized seasonal forecasts using multimodal ensemble method. Flood Forecasting and Warning System, or FlowCast, is a system that automatically generates water level, flood forecasts, and advisories. Sesame is a web portal for generating and disseminating advisories for specific crops at particular growth stages based on weather and climate information at different time scales. SATAC and SMART are both web-based platforms that integrate hazard forecasts with exposure information to generate potential impacts and risk management options for disaster management sector. RIMES continues to expand its software services with the development of more systems and tools that include climate and hydrological data exchange, or DataX, is a dynamic platform that enables secure exchange of country-specific meteorological data and access to high-resolution forecast products from European Centre for Medium-Range Weather Forecasts, ECMWF, and Regional Resilience Data and Analytics Service, or RDAS, is a cloud-based open access platform combining climate and sectorial data with analytic capabilities to inform policy planning and investment decisions in the region. In our 15 years, we saw the designing and creating digital tools and platforms for early warnings and disaster risk management are easier steps as long as you co-develop them with the target end users. The challenging parts are persuading the data owners to share and integrate their data into the platform, and for the platform managers to own, use, manage, and sustain digital tools. These challenges have been surmounted by RIMES with our unique position as an intergovernmental organization that empowers data owners to share and make value addition to their data while being committed to hand-holding, mentoring, and supporting the platform managers and government partners until such a time that platforms are embedded in their day-to-day operations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Sharif. Can I now turn to Dr. Paul Janasek, who is the CEO of Think Blue Data Company, to provide us with a private sector perspective about how the private sector can contribute to digital solutions. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for the opportunity to participate today in this panel. So Think Blue Data is a company that's worked with, was established 12 years ago and has worked with ESCAP for a decade now, focusing on creating, using innovative, interactive, compelling web applications that put data and information in the hands of users. So from the beginning, we've looked at how to make the web and interfaces much more engaging, and so that users can explore and understand data and information more easily. With the Risk and Resilience Portal that we worked to release for ESCAP a couple years ago, over this last few years, we've had a number of initiatives to add additional functionality there. So it includes charts and maps and interactive decision support tools that look at hazards in the region, the impact of climate, the economic impacts, and then details about different country profiles. More recently, we've looked at some country focused portals. So for the Maldives this year, we released a version that is tailored with much higher resolution maps and the types of data that are relevant for the local communities. And in that interaction, we could see that in order for the platforms that we build, we had to make some adjustments. So one of the key initial feedbacks that we had was that this portal that we had developed for the desktop needed to be made mobile to be more usable by a wider range of the population. So we worked hard to adapt these maps and charts and these different types of GIS application tools into the mobile device and share that. A second was that in that environment, there's a lot of local information. There's data provided by the Maldives Meteorological Society, for example, that is in data feeds. And so this local community provided information was something that we also looked at how we could include and import into the portal so that the portal is able to also have something that's very relevant to these local communities. On the topic of collaboration and coordination across the regions, a lot of disasters are not isolated to a single country. They are cross borders and they affect entire regions. And similarly, across the whole region, there are communities that are experiencing the similar kinds of situations and could use similar type of tools in these distant areas. So what we're looking at is being able to leverage the work that's been done by other developers in other platforms. So one of the examples is the Pacific Data Hub is a project that's quite interesting and is also using some of the same underlying open source tools that we are. For example, we can see that in many of the projects that we have, we're using CCAN as a platform for data sharing. We're using GeoNode and GeoServer to be able to share map data and within a community. We're also using similar kind of underlying interactive platforms with JavaScript and other tools that make these platforms interactive and engaging to use. Another area that is, I think, important is, in addition to sharing the data and the maps and the document type information, is to be able to share the analysis, the algorithms. So we are looking at how to use tools like Jupyter Notebooks and other interactive open source platforms that allow us to share the algorithms so that the human capacity in these local communities can also that they can share and access and understand how this data and these maps, how they are developed. And so we are looking at putting this ability into the platform as well for local communities to be able to import their own maps to run these standard analytical platform processes, like in the SASCOF seasonal forecasting, for example, and then be able to share that within their local community. So thank you very much, and I give the floor back.
Thank you very much, Dr. Janicic, for sharing some private sector perspectives. So can I now invite Ms. Sudawadi Limpaibul, who is the Program Director at Plan International Thailand, to share some civil society perspectives on digital inclusion for disaster risk management. You have the floor.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. To be honest, to be here to sharing some experience from our organizations. In the present, many countries apply cutting-edge technologies to cope with the severe impact of disaster hazard and manage this disaster risk. However, before we have the digital innovation for disaster risk management, we must design and develop the intervention first to providing training to people on develop innovations and disaster risk reduction knowledge. In case of that, they not have essential skill and the expertise. In this process, we will help to answer the question how we help to empower and enhance participate from the vulnerable people, particular girls and young women, people in the disaster areas. To the begin, we need to identify the persons who have impact from disaster and organize workshop to decide the emergency situations, and then they can develop some innovations to respond and reduce risk disasters in their areas. In this training, we are not only provide a digital education alone, but we also give the disaster risk management knowledge as well. As the result, these vulnerable people will hone the disaster risk management knowledge. For example, type of disaster that occurs in their areas and how to respond and manage them to mitigate the risk. Including impact of disaster to people, then they will learn and understand the mechanism of the digital innovation that they are going to use. After they have the knowledge and understanding of DRM and digital innovations, they will apply and integrate both knowledge to design and develop disaster risk reduction technologies, inventions based on their context. In terms of the challenge, on the promisement challenge in using the technology and innovations on the DRM, so some of innovation and technology such as the sensor and electronic board is costly or is very expensive to buy. So the other challenge is lacking on the inclusive. In the other words, the woman may do not have the leading role in developed DRR interventions, marginalized, managing disasters. For example, like they cannot be the leader to manage when the disaster situation comes. So they need to be like to waiting until someone come to support them. So there are interventions when we apply the innovation, we have some lacking on the attitude or gender lens. Sometimes the people to thinking about like the girls, they are not suited to study or to acting role as the engineering or do not suitable to working on the computers. So this one is the very challenge for us when we working on the innovation for disaster. So how we overcome for this one, so we try to challenge the negative norm in our communities. So we try to encourage our people, especially girls and women, to understand the role and their skills, to develop their skill and emphasize their empowering their capacities and make them to understand how they can release or how can they manage and they can do by themselves. So that's one is our experience to share.
Thank you very much. Because my panel has been very disciplined, we still have a few more minutes, so I'm now going to give them the opportunity for a second round of sharing their thoughts, particularly having listened to each other. I'll give you the opportunity for a few more minutes to make a second intervention. So, Mr. Sharif, can I turn to you first, and then to Dr. Janicet, and then I'll come back to you.
Thank you. RIMES members, being mostly small islands and low-capacity countries, need long-term support, as it takes a long lead time to incorporate innovative tools like DSS into their operations long after the project ends. For RIMES projects implemented, we have the responsibility to continue to provide support sustain project outcomes after completion of projects until the countries integrate the enhanced capacities into their annual financial budgets and policy instruments. We have sustained and fostered partnerships with our members and collaborating countries through the 15 years to ensure that the project gains are slowly to fully embedded into their systems. ESCAP, as our steadfast partner, could consider adopting RIMES mechanism as its technical arm to implement programs on a long-term basis to assist RIMES countries, especially the small islands and low-capacity countries, in embracing digital innovation for disaster risk and resource management, and in effectively building their capacities for early warning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sharif, for elaborating particularly on the challenges for the small island developed states and the sustainability of technology. So, Dr. Janicek, I'll turn back to you, and I'm just interested, when you've listened to the other two panelists, about some of the other challenges they've raised about sustainability and inclusivity, and in particular whether there's a role for private sector in assisting.
Thank you. One of the underlying comments that I made was about the importance of this open source and open standards, and these underlying technologies support the ability to continually improve the accessibility of our tools. So these underlying open source projects will also do include best practices and sort of web content, web accessibility standards, and the ability to scale and leverage the work that's been done by different communities across the whole region. So I think that this is something that is particularly powerful for making the work that's being done reusable and scalable. Another area that I thought was important to mention is that when we've looked at it at the regional level for the risks and hazards, the types of things that are types of hazards that are disasters that are affect many broad communities. Some of the types of disasters that are missed in that analysis are the local issues. So as we work with different individual countries, there will be types of analyses such as looking at glacial-based flooding, or looking at the impact on agriculture on different types of crops. And these local types of issues have well-established analysis analytical methods, and those also can be embedded and then shared broadly across the community. So I think that this idea of openness really can allow us to leverage the work that's been done to continue to affect communities over time.
Thank you, Dr. Janasek. Now, can I turn to Ms. Limpai Bull? Just after hearing the presentations on the RHIMES and the ESCAP, and then you've also talked this morning about the challenges for civil society inclusion. Just wonder if you had any further comments about how these two platforms can assist in making sure that civil society is included in disaster responsiveness.
As our challenge is on the gender norms and gender challenge, but also we also have the other challenge on the costly of the technologies. So it cannot be the sustainability into the community, because high cost of the technology have the most challenges for the community, especially for the remote or the vulnerable peoples. So to respond on this issue, we try to find the other way to respond on this. So we try to find out how to develop some STEM education, to find some material that we can use the local materials that more cheaper, and then we apply this one to our projects. And then it might be easy to find the materials. And also in the parallel, we need to find some collaborate with the other, for example, for the governments and for the private sector, to funding more on the technologies. And I think if we success on this one, it might be support and help us for the sustainability to our vulnerable peoples.
Thank you very much, and I hope my panelists are all listening to each other, both the private sector, the ESCAP platform. So, Excellencies, that brings us to the end of this panel too, and concludes our panel discussion. Can I ask you to please thank these panelists. And that just leaves me to now hand over the floor back to our Vice Chair for further proceedings. Thank you very much for your attention this morning.
Well, Excellencies, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Basanjav and Ms. Fong Toy, for moderating the two very interesting panels. Excellencies, I now open the floor for country statements. And before I do, I would like to urge all speakers to adhere to the time limit of 3 minutes. I remind all delegates that longer statements can be sent to the Secretariat and will be circulated. And in order to maintain order and for delegations to be ready to take the floor when I call on the Speaker, I will also announce the delegation next in line. The floor is open. The first speaker, Excellencies, is from the country of Fiji, to be followed by a speaker from the delegation from China, followed by a speaker from the delegation from the USA. I now give the floor to the ambassador from Fiji. You have the floor, Excellency.
Madam Chair, with all protocols observed, thank you for the opportunity to intervene on this item. And in doing so, I'm speaking on behalf of our small island developing states from the Pacific sub-region. In saying this, allow me at the outset to applaud the Secretariat for bringing our Pacific states representatives in big numbers to the 80th session. And whilst we are not all here, it serves as a great boost to our collective contributions in the work of the Commission during this session. With the support of our partners, we hope to see more of our Pacific seats attend future Commission sessions. In this session on sub-regional perspectives, the Secretariat's continued work undertaken to facilitate regional sub-regional cooperation in each of the 5 sub-regions to leverage digital innovation for sustainable development. Madam Chair, as we draw closer to 2030, progress towards achieving the 2030 SDGs should indicate that all countries are closer to reaching their targets, and that initiatives undertaken at national levels should complement and enhance our collective efforts at the sub-regional and regional levels. However, as we have heard from our panelists earlier, the Pacific sub-region remains inundated with challenges attributed to the escalating global conflicts, the climate emergency, illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, and widening social and economic inequalities, which continue to hinder our implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. Indeed, this lack of progress has had different impacts on both economic and social progress in the sub-region, and constrained actions to address climate change and strengthen resilience to disasters. In this regard, Madam Chair, digitalization initiatives and other efforts are critical to addressing these compounding challenges. The promotion of digitalization can support the efficient delivery of public services, such as health and educational services, including distance learning. Digital transformation strategies provide an important platform for the advancement of climate action and disaster risk reduction efforts by enabling the development of early warning systems, the sharing of best practices and expertise, and access to skills development programs. To this end, Pacific small island developing states also face our own unique set of challenges in scaling up our digital innovations, not the least of which is access to affordable, reliable internet connectivity. Costs of internet access are 100 or more times higher than equivalent access costs in New Zealand and Australia, our metropolitan neighbors. Even in comparison to other Pacific seas, Fiji's rates are high despite having some of the better telecommunication infrastructure in the sub-region. Madam Chair, for digital innovation to accelerate implementation of SDGs, the essential conditions is universal access to digital infrastructure. This is key to strengthening our digital connectivity of our island states to reach and connect with the remote island and rural communities of our respective nations. And with the support of enabling policy and regulatory environments, these are vital to the collective efforts of our digital endeavor. Madam Chair, we are appreciative of the work that ESCAP is doing for us, in particular recognizing the excellent work of the ESCAP sub-regional office in Suva, Fiji, in our sustainable development journey. In this connection, to accelerate digital connectivity, the establishment of a Pacific Internet Exchange Point by ESCAP is expected to improve the quality and speed of internet traffic in the Pacific Islands. We thank ESCAP for this awesome initiative. We also acknowledge the work that ESCAP is doing along with the United Nations Development Programme the Pacific Islands Forum Secretariat, and other agencies of the Council of Regional Organizations of the Pacific to harness complementarities, synergies, and opportunities for policy coherence with the 2050 strategy for a blue Pacific continent and its implementation plan, which sets out a long-term approach for Pacific countries to work together on 7 key thematic areas, including technology and connectivity. To accelerate our sub-regional cooperation, Pacific governments are to encourage innovation and develop the digital economy, including climate-smart digital trade. By digitalizing cross-border trade procedures, we are convinced that Pacific economies can speed up clearance processes and improve transparency in transactions. Madam Chair, underpinning all our efforts is the vitality of strengthened partnerships with our member states, international organizations, and private sector companies. You yourself have undertaken some promising bilateral meetings this week, attesting to the richness of our region for strengthened partnerships. We have also heard of statements being made during the week to support small and developing states' digital journeys, hopefully to invest in our priority areas such as cybersecurity technology, build a skilled youth workforce, increase awareness raising programs to safeguard networks and users from cyber attacks and online fraud, and protect the delivery of public social services to safeguard people and our community livelihoods. Likewise, enhanced collaboration with multilateral development banks and through public-private partnerships is needed to encourage innovation and further develop our digital economies. Finally, Chair, for our small island nations in the Pacific sub-region, digital innovation is to be environmentally sustainable, and we therefore duly acknowledge that sub-regional cooperation is relevant, sharing of learnings and experiences are fundamental, as climate-induced and other natural disasters are not bound by national borders. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency, Ambassador from Fiji. Before I give the floor to the representative of the delegation from China, we have seen your placeholders go up. Following China will be a speaker from the US, followed by Thailand, and then Indonesia, and then India. I now give the floor to Madame from China.
主席女士，东亚与东北亚是亚太地区经济发展最具活力的次区域之一。作为次区域主要成员，中国积极推进数字创新领域次区域合作，推动落实大图门数字经济合作路线图，加强次区域数字基础设施建设，为次区域经济社会发展注入新动能。去年，中国与 ESCAP 东亚与东北亚次区域办公室在北京共同举办第7届东北亚可持续发展伙伴关系论坛，与东北亚成员一道，共同探讨落实2030年可持续发展议程机遇。此外，中国积极推进数字丝绸之路建设取得积极进展。截至目前，中国已与17个国家签署数字丝绸之路合作谅解备忘录，与23个国家建立丝路电商双边合作机制，与周边国家累计建设34条跨境陆缆和多条国际海缆，有效连接中亚、南亚、东南亚、西亚、太平洋等各个次区域。中国发起携手构建网络空间命运共同体，提出并推动达成中国中亚5国数字安全合作倡议，中国东盟关于建立数字经济合作伙伴关系倡议，组织中国上海合作组织数字贸易圆桌研讨会等，有效推动中国同各次区域以及各次区域之间的发展合作。当前，地区和全球数字治理、赤字、数字领域发展不平衡等问题凸显，个别国家将科技和经贸问题政治化、工具化、武器化，严重危害地区和全球数字创新发展合作。 我们应坚持团结合作，实现有效治理，合力营造开放、包容、公平、公正、非歧视的数字发展环境。应坚持发展优先，加快数字基础设施建设和数字转型，弥合数字鸿沟。应坚持普惠包容，努力解决数字创新给社会弱势群体带来的挑战，确保数字创新成果惠及所有人。应加强区域和次区域组织之间的协调，发挥各次区域组织的独特作用，共同推进亚太数字创新合作。中方愿继续同各方加强合作，推动数字丝绸之路建设走深走实，加快构建网络空间命运共同体，携手开创亚太数字创新合作新篇章。谢谢。
I thank the representative from China for her remarks. We will now hear from the representative from the delegation of the USA, but before I give you the floor, sir, I just want to say to the representatives of the Philippines and Bangladesh, we have added you to the list and you will follow after India, with the Philippines first, followed by Bangladesh. Excellencies, I now give the floor to the delegation from the USA. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, Excellencies, distinguished representatives of other member states, guests, and organizations gathered here today. The United States is deeply committed to a vision of global development that is inclusive, driven by innovation, and focused on those most in need. We are a long-standing leader in promoting sustainable, equitable, and transformational development, and are committed to full implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. We are also expanding access to fast, secure, trusted, interoperable, and reliable internet connectivity in the Pacific. Our DCCP partners at the United States Trade and Development Agency have funded feasibility studies for the Central Pacific Cable and continue to support connectivity for Pacific Island countries and the region at large. Today, the reality is that the world is on track to achieve just 12% of the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Harnessing the potential of digital technologies, such as artificial intelligence, could accelerate progress on 80% of these goals, improving agricultural productivity, to combat hunger, detecting and preventing outbreaks of disease, accelerating our clean energy transition, and creating economic opportunity while protecting our planet. Realizing the full potential of AI and digital technologies will require international cooperation. We applaud the adoption of the first ever standalone resolution on AI at the United Nations, which is focused on ensuring that AI is deployed to advance sustainable development and deliver meaningful progress in people's lives. This resolution, tabled by the United States, was adopted by consensus from all UNGA member states and was co-sponsored by 123 countries from around the globe. This widespread support reflects a strong global consensus in support of two equally important goals: that AI be safe, secure, and trustworthy, and that its benefits are shared by all. We must support governance and capacity building that narrows digital divides, both at the community level and for groups within communities that lack equal access to digital infrastructure, particularly women and girls. We're committed to working with partners to boost access and inclusion to emerging technologies like AI. We're also committed to working with ESCAP to pursue these objectives, including, we are pleased to announce today, support for a new junior professional officer working on digital issues with the Secretariat here in Bangkok. Successful cooperation on AI will depend in part on our ability to ensure inclusive development on digital connectivity for underserved locations and communities around the globe. Universal connectivity is therefore crucial to achieving sustainable development goals and improving the lives and futures of us all. The United States is taking ambitious, concrete steps to support digital connectivity and to bridge digital divides. Our work in ASEAN and the Pacific Island regions demonstrates this multifaceted commitment. As USAID Aid Regional Mission Director outlined in a panelist side event on Monday, and as the Mission Director for the newly established USAID Pacific Islands Mission conveyed to you by video from Fiji yesterday, there is a close collaboration with governments and civil society to realize the digital transformations and the promise they bring throughout the subregions of ESCAP. These are further combined with the Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment, which launched at the 2022 G7, and the State Department's Bureau of Cyberspace and Digital Policy, founded that same year. The United States is now engaging with the private sector and regional partners to accelerate development of positive change. Our work with the Pacific Island counterparts to connect Pacific Islands to international commercial subsea cable systems is an important recent example. Furthermore, the State Department Cyberspace and Digital Policy Bureau plans to contribute an additional $15 million to support connectivity projects across multiple Pacific Island countries. With partner countries, we continue to invest in enhancing secure, resilient connectivity in Pacific Islands to provide branching units for submarine cables, and also as the development of digital connectivity, digital economy, and digital services enabled by enhanced investments in digital connectivity infrastructure. We will continue regular, enduring engagement with Pacific Island countries on cybersecurity, and will continue to partner with the United States private sector companies on technical assistance opportunities such as digital skills training, cyber preparedness, and rapid response capabilities, as well as public awareness campaigns. In the years ahead, it will ultimately not be our technological capabilities themselves that define our future, but how we choose to use them. The United States will continue to partner with the many stakeholders of our digital ecosystem, governments, academics, businesses, civil society organizations, and others, to ensure digital innovation thrives in an environment that is sustainable, equitable, and inclusive of all. Thank you.
I thank the speaker from the delegation from the United States of America. Thank you. The next speaker is the lady from Thailand, Excellency, to be followed by the delegation from Indonesia. You have the floor, madam.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning to all Excellencies and distinguished delegates. First of all, I thank all the speakers and panelists for the insightful presentations, which indeed highlight the importance of leveraging digital innovations for SDGs implementation. And indeed, harnessing the power of STI is key to facilitating sustainable practices. And as the ASEAN Coordinator on Sustainable Development Cooperation, allow me to share Thailand's perspective on how digital innovations can contribute to the implementation of the SDGs in the region. First, digital economy promotes inclusive economic growth. And as mentioned by the Deputy Secretary General of ASEAN, the negotiation of the ASEAN Digital Economy Framework on DEFRA is underway to promote digital economy in the region, which we hope will enable businesses, including MSMEs, to tap into customers across borders and unlock the potentials and strengthen them to against future shock. Second, digital solutions contribute to energy transition, and the ASEAN Power Grid is one example. This project has been making good progress by connecting energy infrastructure of ASEAN member states across borders. But as demand for energy rises, ASEAN member states are also looking to develop smart grid using advanced technologies to integrate renewable energy from various sources and manage energy supply to varying demands. The deployment of the smart grid will not only benefit individual ASEAN member states, but also the whole ASEAN power grid in the long term. Third, digital platforms promote sharing of sustainable practices. At the end of the day, policies and initiatives should be backed up by capacity building and knowledge sharing. And with this in mind, the web-based ASEAN Circular Economy Stakeholder Platform was established as a regional facility for knowledge sharing and fostering engagements towards circular economy and thereby supporting sustainable production and consumption within the region. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, allow me to conclude by reaffirming the commitment of Thailand as the coordinator, as the ASEAN coordinator on sustainable development cooperation, to work closely with ESCAP to promote the SDGs implementation in ASEAN, especially under the complementarities initiative between ASEAN Community Vision and the 2030 UN Agenda. And we look forward to updating this initiative in light of the ASEAN Community Vision 2045. And we hope that digital innovations can be one of the priority areas in the new initiative. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I thank the representative of our hosts, the Royal Government of Thailand, for her country statement. I would now like to invite the speaker from the delegation from Indonesia to take the floor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Excellencies, distinguished participants.
Indonesia appreciates ESCAP for the excellent work and for the comprehensive report on leveraging digital innovation for sustainable development. We note the recommendations put forth on how to address the challenges through leveraging digital innovation. Cross-border is one of the keys for regional development and fostering digital connectivity to address the digital divide within and among countries. Realizing the importance of regional as well as sub-regional cooperation for digital transformation, we believe that an integrated digital roadmap can effectively facilitate technological and policy exchanges to harness country-specific potentials and harmonize existing initiatives such as in the ASEAN region. In September of last year, during Indonesia's chairmanship, the ASEAN Digital Economy Framework Agreement was launched. The framework aims to develop a modern, comprehensive, and coherent digital transformation strategy towards an ASEAN digital economy, where a seamless and secure flow of goods, services, data is underpinned by enabling rules, regulation, infrastructure, and talent. Realizing the collective goals to leverage digital innovation in the Asia-Pacific region, Indonesia appreciates ESCAP's initiatives on the framework for digital innovation and sustainable development. We hope the framework would include measures such as facilitate technology and knowledge transfer among member countries, provide capacity building for the development, implementation, and leveraging of digital innovation, generate discussions on exploring innovative and scaling up existing financing mechanisms, initiate strategies to increase funding and financing on R&D activities, develop a sustainable digital innovation ecosystem involving multi-stakeholders, ensuring meaningful participation and involvement of all communities and groups, including persons with disabilities and older people. Indonesia looks forward to collaborating with UN ESCAP in addressing these important measures. And finally, Madam Chair, we stand ready to support and actively participate in the partnership and cooperation for digital transformation in the Asia-Pacific region, thus ensure no one is left behind. I thank you, Madam.
Thank you, sir. I thank the delegation from Indonesia for their country statement. The list of next speakers are India, the Philippines, and Bangladesh. Should any other delegation wish to speak after Bangladesh, please put up your placeholder and we will call you out after Bangladesh. But now I give the floor to the delegation from India. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, in today's rapidly evolving world, digital technologies are not just tools, but catalysts for sustainable development. They pave the way for inclusion, equitable access, increased productivity and efficiency, reduce costs, and enable the efficiency delivery of public and private services. Digital innovations are already leaving a positive mark on efforts to achieve the sustainable development goals across Asia and the Pacific. Madam Chair, India stands at the forefront of this digital revolution, showcasing remarkable success in implementing digital products and services on a mass scale. India's robust policy framework for digital innovations lay emphasis on maximizing governance through digital means. Particularly noteworthy is India's adept utilization of digital innovations and infrastructure during challenging times of COVID-19 pandemic. One exemplary initiative is the Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile Trinity, which has provided access to direct benefit transfers to over 500 million people in India, leveraging public digital infrastructure, digital identification tools, and financial technologies. This initiative promotes financial inclusion and efficient delivery of security payments. The Aadhaar Digital Identity Platform has revolutionized the delivery of social welfare programs in India by accurately targeting recipients and minimizing diversion of funds. Additionally, the Unified Payment Interface has empowered citizens from all walks of life, bringing marginalized individuals into the mainstream formal economy. The adoption of e-filing system by Income Tax Department, coupled with the integration of artificial intelligence and machine learning, has streamlined tax collections and improved efficiency. Besides, the cognitive digital technologies are bridging gaps in healthcare access, especially in rural areas, through telemedicine and remote patient monitoring. Digital innovation is also driving economic growth and fostering entrepreneurship by creating new opportunities for innovation, job creation, and economic diversification. By nurturing a vibrant ecosystem of startups and digital enterprises, India is harnessing the power of technology to fuel economic development and drive progress towards SDGs. Madam Chair, digital literacy initiatives can help bridge the digital divide by ensuring that individuals from all backgrounds have the knowledge and skills necessary to participate fully in the digital world. However, it is crucial to ensure that digital platforms are user-centric and accompanied by comprehensive digital literacy initiatives to minimize the risk associated with their use. Initiatives like Digital India, with its focus on digital literacy, are pivotal in promoting safe and secure digital practices among the masses. India believes that collaboration among all sub-regions of Asia-Pacific is essential to make digital innovations accessible and affordable. The successful replication and scaling up of digital innovations can be facilitated through cross-border cooperation with organizations like Asian Pacific Center for Technology Transfer, playing a pivotal role. As we look to the future, it is essential to continue harnessing the power of digital technologies to build a more inclusive, resilient, and sustainable society. This requires continued investment in digital infrastructure, capacity building, and innovation ecosystems, as well as policies and regulatory frameworks that foster innovation while safeguarding the rights and interests of all citizens. By working collaboratively across sectors and stakeholders, we can unlock the full potential of digital technologies to drive progress towards the SDGs and create a better world for future generations. Let us continue to embrace innovation and harness the power of digital technologies to build a brighter and more sustainable future for all. Thank you, Chair.
I thank the delegation from India for their country statement. We will hear now from the Philippines, followed by the delegation from Bangladesh, and then also Vanuatu. I now give the floor to the gentleman from the Philippines.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Excellencies, distinguished guests, and fellow public servants. We're very fortunate that we have a lot of tech savvies in the Philippines, government leaders, including our President, as he instructed all government agencies to digitalize both front-end services, including back-end functions. And digitalization is one of his priorities in the Philippines. On June 2 last year, we launched the e-government platform that will revolutionize a lot of technologies in the Philippines. The DICT, or the Department of Information and Communications Technology, is now capacitated with its own R&D team. In fact, it has a pillar of 5. The first pillar is we develop e-government solutions that will actually simplify a lot of processes in the Philippines. These complexities, siloed systems, and repetitive works, data services, cloud services, and other siloed systems actually making things very complicated and really hard to do e-governance. But using this e-government platform, we're able to launch a so-called data exchange platform, or the e-government data exchange platform, that will make all systems work together to make sure that we have a once-only policy, meaning once you entered information to a certain system or government, you don't need to repeat it again. Another simplification model that we were able to launch in the Philippines is so-called the e-government cloud services, where we're now simplifying also the management and maintenance of cloud services, because if we allow multiple siloed government cloud services, again, the issues in cybersecurity, data privacy, including sustainability is actually a big issue and problem. And also, Madam Chair, part of the 5 pillars of the e-government initiative is also to empower national government agencies. In fact, the DICT is now assisting around 677 national government agencies to simplify their processes. We also have an agency called ARTA. ARTA is so-called the Anti-Red Tape Authority, in collaboration with an ease of doing business model, so that to make sure that we're able not just to digitalize or innovate, but we're able to simplify a lot of processes. Another initiative is to amplify also the local government units. So meaning digitalization start down to the ground roots, not just in the national government. So the data should be automated down to the local government units, so that once this is transmitted to the national, it will simplify a lot of processes, including business permits, real property tax systems, local government services, and multiple kinds of permits. So we're able also to launch the digital ID of our national ID. In fact, June 2 last year, we were able to launch a so-called eGov Super App in the Philippines. So the eGov Super App is actually a combination of multiple APIs that could link multiple government services. In fact, the national ID is embedded in it. You can already apply for your passport, driver's license, and all kinds of permits. In the same system, the job creation and livelihood creation is also embedded in it. Agriculture, including services like people's feedback mechanism is also part of that. Crime busting is also part of it. Connected to the Philippine National Police, connected also to the DSWD. We also implemented the people's feedback mechanism for abuse reporting, including women abuse, child abuse, and other kinds of system to be simplified in terms of reporting, directed to the agency that they are responsible to respond, to make sure that we have an e-government response system as well. Part of the initiative also, Madam Chair, in the e-government initiative is the ISSP. So the ICT implemented the so-called ISSP, or the Information Systems Strategic Plan. So meaning all systems to be implemented in the government, both GOCCs, including instrumentalities in the Philippines, government instrumentalities, is actually to be reviewed by the ICT. So meaning all ICT should be reviewed first by the ICT before implementing, so that we're able to simplify a lot of processes. So that the Philippines is very excited and really open to explore regional participation, including capacity building, best practices adoption, and also e-government policies and process simplification, Madam Chair. So thank you so much. That's our statement. Thank you.
I thank the delegation from the Philippines for their country statement, and now give the floor to the delegation from Bangladesh. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. I am pleased to share with you Bangladesh's insights and experiences on leveraging digital innovation for sustainable development. In the year 2008 election manifesto, Honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, announced her vision of transforming our country into digital Bangladesh by 2021. The adoption of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which identified digital transformation as one of the key transition and investment priorities, spearheaded the implementation of our Vision 2021. The government of Bangladesh has decided who to do what tasks in accordance with the approved SDG action plan. Adhering to the whole of the society approach, the development of a digital backbone that connected the capital to even the most remote union councils sped up the execution of many initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen, Bangladesh has made significant strides in leveraging technology to enhance access to essential services, promote financial inclusion, and empower marginalized communities. Through Digital Bangladesh initiatives, we have endeavored to harness technology to address key development challenges and empower our citizens. Based on the transformative achievements in the last 1.5 decades, the Honorable Prime Minister now aspires our country to be Smart Bangladesh by 2041, with 4 dedicated pillars such as smart citizen, smart government, smart economy, and smart society. The new vision converges with the dream of our father of the nation to build Sonar Bangla or Golden Bangladesh. The Smart Bangladesh is about bridging the digital divide by innovating and scaling up sustainable digital solutions that all citizens, regardless of their socioeconomic background, all businesses, regardless of their size, can benefit from it. In Bangladesh, digital inclusion encompasses more than just access to the internet. It is about equipping individuals, communities with the skills, knowledge, and resources to thrive in the digital age. By establishing 9,034 digital centers across the country, 382 types of services are now available. A platform, namely MyGov, has successfully integrated around 2,000 government offices, establishing connections with about 14,000 government offices. Under establishing digital connectivity, more than 100,000 root-level schools, colleges, villages, growth centers, and government offices will get digital connectivity through optical fiber. With regard to healthcare, Bangladesh has demonstrated notable progress in utilizing its 100% COVID vaccination rate through homegrown digital system Suraksha apps. Distinguished delegates, the Asia-Pacific region stands at a crucial juncture where rapid technological advancement intersect with pressing sustainability challenges. Digital innovation has emerged as a powerful tool capable of catalyzing progress across various sectors, from healthcare and education to agriculture and infrastructure. However, the benefits of digital innovation are not uniformly distributed across the region. Sub-regional variations necessitate tailored approaches to harnessing these technologies for sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, as we chart our course forward, let us reaffirm our commitment to multilateralism and cooperation. The 2030 Agenda provides us with a shared blueprint for a better future, and digital innovation serves as a powerful enabler in realizing its goals. By working together across borders and sectors, we can harness the full potential of a technology to build a more sustainable, inclusive, and resilient Asia-Pacific region for generations to come. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you very much, sir, and thank you to the delegation from Bangladesh. And finally, on my list, though the floor is still open, I give the floor to Vanuatu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Excellencies, distinguished guests, good morning. Vanuatu, like many other nations, have embarked on digital transformation journey to leverage technology for socio-economic development. However, specific information on Vanuatu's digital transformation initiatives may be limited due to factors like its small size and unique challenges. Nevertheless, I would like to give an overview of digital transformation in Vanuatu. Connectivity improvement, one of the primary challenges in Vanuatu, which is a geographical dispersion across numerous islands. Digital transformation likely involves efforts to improve internet connectivity and infrastructure, including expanding access to broadband services and upgrading telecommunication networks. The e-government services, implementing digital platforms for government services eliminates administrative processes, reduce bureaucracy, and improve accessibility for citizens. I think Vanuatu has recently, with the support from the UNCTAD, has launched a single window project for Vanuatu to assist the government in its administrative processes in terms of administrative processes such as permits, government applications on permits to facilitate trade and investments into Vanuatu. Education and skills development. Digital literacy and skills training are crucial components of any transformation strategy. Vanuatu may invest in programs to enhance digital skills for its workforce and provide educational resources through e-learning platforms. The e-health services initiatives utilizing technology to improve healthcare delivery is vital, particularly in remote areas of Vanuatu. This could also involve telemedicine services, electronic health records, and mobile health applications to facilitate access to healthcare and information. Digital payments and financial inclusion, promoting electronic payment systems and expanding services can enhance financial inclusion and stimulate economic growth. Mobile banking, digital wallets, and other fintech solutions may play a significant role in Vanuatu's digital economy. Environmental monitoring and disaster management, given Vanuatu's vulnerability to natural disasters, digital tools for early warning systems, disaster preparedness, and environmental monitoring are essential for enhancing resilience and mitigating risks. Tourism and digital marketing. As a popular destination in the Pacific Island, Vanuatu can leverage digital technologies for marketing promotions and visitor engagement. This would involve social media campaigns, virtual tours, and online booking platforms to attract tourists and post-tourism industry. Cultural preservations, digital information can also play a very important role in Vanuatu's cultural heritage, and initiatives such as digitizing our cultural artifacts, creating online archives, and promoting indigenous languages and traditions through digital media. Investing in infrastructure such as data centers, cybercrime systems, and ICT hubs is essential for supporting Vanuatu's digital economy and ensuring the reliability and security of digital services. Public and private partnership, collaboration between government, private sector entities, NGOs, and international organizations is crucial for success of digital transformation initiatives in Vanuatu. Public-private partnerships can engage resources, expertise, and innovation to drive progress across sectors. Overall, Vanuatu's digital transformation journey is likely to be guided by the goal of harness technology to address development challenges, improve the quality of life, and promote sustainable growth with preserving nation's unique identity and cultural heritage. Madam Chair, I thank you.
Thank you, sir, and representative of Vanuatu. Excellencies, would any other delegation wish to take the floor under this agenda? I see there is no other delegation wishing to take the floor at this time. Therefore, distinguished delegates, excellencies, I would now like to invite the Deputy Executive Secretary for Partnerships and Coordination, Mr. Hirohito Toda, to deliver his closing remarks. Excellency.
Thank you, Chair. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Innovation through digitalization has allowed us to better address challenges related to sustainable development. Digital transformation has not only driven the post-pandemic recovery, it has changed the way we live. It has revolutionized access to finance, transformed resource management, and changed the way public services are delivered. Technology, together with finance, trade, and capacity building, is a means of implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Today, we heard how regional and sub-regional organizations support countries in leveraging digital innovation for sustainable development, how digital innovations allow us to address a wide range of issues from experts in different sectors, and how digital innovation could strengthen disaster risk management, a critical issue in Asia and the Pacific. We hope that some of these experiences recounted by our speakers resonated with you. Each country is different, yet If other countries were able to successfully address challenges that we similarly face, their solutions, if tailored to meet our specific circumstances, could likewise be applicable. The solutions lie within our diversity. As a forum for regional cooperation, we invite regional, sub-regional, and national actors to share their experiences so that we can identify common solutions. The alignment of our respective action plans and work programs could then further increase the effectiveness of our initiatives as well as technical cooperation. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for this highly informative discussion and look forward to working with you as partners in regional cooperation. With these words, I thank you.
I thank you, Mr. Toda. Thank you, sir. Excellencies, before we adjourn for the day, I'd like to call upon the Secretary of the Commission to make an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Distinguished delegates, a reminder that starting now during the lunch break and for all the afternoon, we will have numerous side events hosted by our member states and partner organizations to complement and enrich the deliberations of the plenary. The majority of these side events are open to all participants of the Commission, and most of these meetings are also held in a hybrid format, so participants may also be able to join online. Details of the events are available on the Commission website, and you can see also a summary of the events scheduled for today here in the slides. And this afternoon also provides an opportunity for participants to visit the various booths at the Digital Innovation Fair, if you haven't done so already. So we encourage all participants to participate in the side events and to visit the Innovation Fair. I now turn to the evaluation of the session. As mandated by the Commission, the Secretariat provides delegations with an opportunity to assess the results and quality of the session through a feedback questionnaire. In this connection, we would like to request each participant to complete a brief online survey through the link available on the Commission webpage under the Overview tab. You will also see a signage at the entrance of this conference room providing the link to the survey and the QR code, and the same information has also been provided to your delegation through the liaison officer. You can also see it on the slides now on the screens. And your feedback will help improve the quality of our services and the support that we provide to delegations. Thank you for taking your time to provide us with your most valuable feedback. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretariat. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen delegates, this concludes our discussions under Agenda Item 2B. We will resume the discussions tomorrow, Thursday, the 24th of April at 900 hours. To take up the Agenda Item 4, review of the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development in Asia and the Pacific, and issues pertinent to the subsidiary structure of the Commission. I thank you, distinguished delegates. The meeting is now adjourned.